Texas.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. We'll call the meeting of the Madison City Commission to order for the meeting of April 22nd, 2013. Jen, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Dozer,
Here.
Commissioner Erickson,
Here.
Commissioner Waldner,
Here.
Commissioner Abraham,
Here.
and Mayor Exum.
Here. As a part of the minutes, we have to approve the April 15th, 2013 minutes of the Board of Canvassers for the city election. Could we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So move.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded that we approve the Board of Canvassers minutes of April 15th, 2013 pertaining to the city election as prepared. Any questions or speaking? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. You also have the minutes of the commission meeting of April 15th, 2013 as a part of your record. If there are no corrections or changes to the minutes, could we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded that we approve the April 15th meeting of the Madison City Commission as prepared. Any questions or speaking? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion is carried. You have the agenda for this meeting of April 22nd. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any questions or speaking? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. We have no items listed under appearances, acknowledgments, and correspondence. We have no items listed under old business. We have several items listed under new business. Number one is the pre-annexation agreement with the Madison Community Hospital. And with that, Commissioner Delzer, Attorney Jenks, whoever wishes to begin.
Either of us want to talk about it. This is essentially the agreement with the hospital regarding the land or potential annexation that just crosses all the Ts and dots all the Is, make sure everything's in order before we move forward. Couple things that we covered in there. Not only did we cover the responsibilities of developing the area, we also covered the responsibilities of the city in regards to developing the area. Probably one thing that we should point out is this is what we would consider a special case. This isn't not what we consider a normal annexation due to it being a hospital and being the Madison Community Hospital. There's some additional benefits that the city realizes by having a quality healthcare facility in Madison. It's one of the keys to a strong community, strong economic development plan. Speaking for myself anyways, I feel it was important that we helped this project along by participating in maybe a way over and above what we would in a normal annexation process. Typically, the city does participate in the electrical distribution installation in a new annexation, that is spelled out in this agreement as well. Two of the other concessions or items that the city chose to participate in or has listed, let me restate that. If we agree to sign this, also has listed two other concessions. One is the waiving of the building permit, and the other one would be a $150,000 participation in the building of the hospital as well. And David and Chad and Jen and many other, Fred had a piece in this, did an enormous amount of work to get to this point, as well as the hospital had an enormous amount of work on their part. So it took a lot to get here, but I think it was well worth it.
I guess the only thing that I would add,
other than answering any questions, is that you have been presented with a very recent draft. There were some last-minute changes today. I would not call those material changes. They were language cleanup changes and maybe some clarifications to try to make some things clearer, but no material terms have changed. And by material terms, I primarily mean those responsibilities that the city has agreed to share in this project. Those have not changed, no numbers have changed. The reason you have a fresh draft is there's some very minor language changes in a few sections of the agreement.
And the hospital's okay with those few
Hospital
changes?
has
in-
seen those,
Okay.
and I've spoken with the hospital council as late as 4 o'clock. Those were all acceptable to all parties.
Excellent.
Okay, I guess first I would ask if there are any questions or comments from any of the commissioner members regarding terms and conditions of this agreement, which are extensive.
Well, I want to throw out some comments and thank, Commissioner Delzer for sure. I know many, many hours that he put in on this, and
Let me clarify, for every minute I put on it, both David and Chad and the rest of the group put in 10 times, so there was a lot of work done by them. So.
Absolutely, that thanks definitely extends to all of them. And I know on the hospital side that there's a lot of hoops and hurdles that you guys are going through to make this happen and to make it happen for Madison. This is a huge, like Commissioner Delzer said earlier, this is a huge deal for Madison, and exciting times as we go forward. A lot of milestones, a lot of happy days, a lot of sad days, right? I mean, it's this isn't an easy thing to do by any means, but so thank everybody for helping on this.
My comments would be basically the same. I'd like to thank everybody for all the work they put in, and the hospital for, it's an exciting new direction, new step for town. It's going to be very nice. Look forward to it, and I'm glad we were able to participate in it, and I think this is at a level that we all should feel pretty comfortable with.
I guess the only thing I'd say is, these people have said a lot of nice things, and from the people that are here representing the hospital, I'm not sure these are the kind of people we want in the city. But having said that, no, I wanted to say that I know the people at the hospital, having been on their board for a number of years, and it's a big effort. It's as Scott has said, it's having a great community hospital is a linchpin to any good community. And we're blessed that we have the facility that we've had in the past and we'll have in the future. And it's an independent facility, which we can also be proud of. And that takes a lot of effort on these people's part to keep it so. And I think, again, I'd extend my congratulations to all the people that worked on the project to get it together. So, notwithstanding my comments about the people that represent the hospital.
But if we annex that into the city, we welcome the people that
I
go
guess
with
we
it,
have
too.
to.
Yeah.
I guess we have to. It's one
Mayor,
of those things.
I would
Mayor,
echo.
and Commissioner Erickson, I'll assure you that the nurses up there and the employees they well then compensate for
They balance
these
it out.
individuals
Well,
that are
that
here.
makes it,
So,
okay, I can go with it.
absolutely.
I can go with it.
great people up there.
Well, I guess we only get a chance to do this about once every 50 years or so, and so I think we're setting the stage for the next 50 years with our Madison Community Hospital. I think it's a tremendous stride for Madison. Madison is now almost 133 years old, and this will be the largest single construction project in the history of Madison in those 133 years. And so we hope that this will be a major part of our medical facilities over the next 50-year period, and will serve us well. So I know that I don't have anything to add to the other commissioners except an awful lot of work behind the scenes. It has to go into an agreement like this to make sure things are in place before you put the shovel in the ground. So I guess with that, unless there are other questions or comments, we would prefer a motion before we have any other
I
discussion.
do have just one other thing
Sure.
to touch on, and we can deal. with this in a separate motion, but probably should give you an idea of where I at least propose to come up with the funds for this particular donation, you might say. Jen did a great job. This is her first time through the Find Us Some Money project, and she did a nice job. This is where I would propose, I've also run this by Chad. Actually, Chad and Jen did a lot of this. I'm just gonna take all the credit for either spending it or finding it. There is $45,000 that they located in realized savings so far this year from the refinancing of the Lewis and Clark Fund, as well as the 911 money that we set aside. That's something that shouldn't come around. You know, there's some other budgets that we're up on, but they could go south just as fast. These two shouldn't change. There isn't a fluctuation in that. We just over budgeted for both these. So that's about a $45,000 savings. I also propose to take $50,000 from the Community Development Fund, which right now we have about $348,000 plus outstanding loans in that particular fund. And then $55,000 from the Second Penny. That Chad has factored that in, actually factored more than that in, and that won't stop any projects in the near future. And to clarify, the $45,000 in realized savings and the $55,000 are both from the Second Penny. The realized savings was actually in the Second Penny Fund, so if those, then it comes to the should come to the $150,000 if I repeated the numbers properly.
Okay.
So that we can do in a separate motion, assign those funds, but.
Well, that's a good thing. I think with that refinancing, that's one-time monies, obviously savings it, so it isn't like we're
This
borrowing.
year,
Yeah,
correct.
that we're not
Realized-
taking out of
it's
anybody else.
realized in the first couple years.
Right.
So we already know our savings from this year.
Yep,
It's factored
So-
into that.
that's a good thing. And Chad, thanks for sucking it up on the Second Penny. I know you guard that with your life.
Fred?
And
I know there's probably some tears shed, but that's okay.
And Chad did a good job. He actually could have found more, but I was just like pretty much everybody else here. The less we take out of that fund, the more projects we get to do in the future. So I wanted to not mess with that as much as possible. But there wasn't a lot of other places to locate these funds. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the pre-annexation agreement with the Madison Community Hospital.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded that we authorize the mayor to sign the pre-annexation agreement with the Madison Community Hospital. Any questions or speaking to that motion? I would open at this point then for any further discussion from anyone in the room who wishes to comment or question any of the provisions of the agreement. This is the appropriate time for any further discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is carried. Thank you again, everyone. Okay, new business number 2 would be resolution number 2013-9.
Mayor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
If I could, because it's tied back to item number 1, I'd like to make a motion that we let me restate that, $100,000 from the Second Penny Sales Fund and $50,000 for the Community Fund to be reassigned as our contribution to the Madison Hospital project.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded then, and we approve the amounts described for the financial contributions to the Madison Community Hospital project, as described by Commissioner Delzer. Any questions or speaking to that motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is carried. Then, new business number 2, Resolution 2013-9, extending the boundaries by annexing the Madison Community Hospital. This would be the property to be annexed for the hospital project on the side of Madison, South Dakota. I guess, Chad, do you want to give any description here of the annexation resolution of the property?
I can make a few comments about it, but it's a pretty straightforward resolution. David has worked quite a bit on this, and Jen as well. Patterned very extensively after some of our previous annexation resolutions in the past. I believe it's been 96 or so since we've had an annexation, so it's been quite some time, but some of the articles in here match very closely to some of the language actually that you've seen in the agreement with the hospital agreement that was just approved, and it just provides for outlining the needs for the annexation in a similar manner that's been done in the past. So, I don't know, David, if you have any other.
The contents of an annexation resolution are strictly dictated by statute. So what you see in this resolution is required by statute, almost line for line. I would say that what the resolution does, other than extending the boundaries, is it makes clear that those city services that we have are obviously extended and provided in the annexed area.
The property description here, approximately how many acres, Chad?
20?
20 acres.
Plus the area included for the right-of-way of Union Avenue. So that's in addition to the 20 acres.
And the property description is Lot 4 of Schultz's addition in the north half of Section 18, Township 106 North, Range 52 west of the 5th Principal Meridian, Lake County, South Dakota, and the right-of-way immediately to the west of and adjacent to said described real estate. That's what we're annexing under this resolution 2013-9. Any comments, questions? Could we have a motion?
I'll move the approval of resolution number 2013-9, extending the boundaries by annexation for the Madison Community Hospital.
Second.
Okay, the motion is made and seconded that we approve Resolution 2013-9 to extend the boundaries of the city of Madison, South Dakota by annexing the described property in the resolution for the Madison Community Hospital. Any further questions or speaking? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. New business number 3 listed, resolution number 2013-10, extending the boundaries by annexing. This would be property described for, what do we call this? The Schultz? Schultz? Yeah, this would be Lot 3 of Schultz's addition in the north half of Section 18, Township 106 North, Range 52 west of the 5th Principal Meridian in Lake County, South Dakota. And this is a piece of adjoining property to the hospital property. Chad, do you have, am I saying that right?
That's correct. This is the property that's on the west side of the Union Avenue right-of-way that was included in the previous resolution. Currently, it is owned by Schultz Family LLC, I think is what it is. They did petition to.
And approximately how many acres?
I don't know what
Don't know.
that is. It's basically the balance of the ground between the Union Avenue right-of-way and the cemetery.
Yeah. Okay, any questions or speaking on that annexation resolution? Could we have a motion?
I'll move the adoption of resolution 2013-10, a resolution extending the boundaries of the city of Madison by annexing the within described territory, that being Lot 3 of Schultz's addition in the north half of Section 18.
Second.
Okay, the motion is made and seconded that we approve resolution number 2013-10 to extend the boundaries by annexing the described property in the resolution for Mr. Schultz. Any questions or speaking? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion is carried. The business number 4, we have to approve a list of volunteers for the Lake County Electronic Recycling Drop-Off Event. Fred, you have a comment on this one?
Yeah, I've got everything worked out with Lake County. They are hosting this event this year, and again, later this year. They'll do it again. We did it in October. Our agreement was that we would provide a facility for them to host that in, and that they would turn around and we would also make arrangements for volunteers. And that way they can be the primary host of this, as they have the current agreement with Sioux Falls Landfill. So this would be our list of volunteers who we approve
Work comp
for
purposes.
work comp purposes, yeah.
What's the date again?
It is going to be the 26th,
Saturday, the 26th
Saturday the 26th.
of April. Hours?
9 to 3
9 to 3.
mhm,
At the,
at the recycling center.
at Madison, City of Madison Recycling Plant?
Yes.
Okay. So there's advertising on that, and what items can be brought, and who can bring them, and
Yes.
all of those types of things. Okay.
I'd just like to point out, this is, I mean, even though it's something that looks like we've done before, this is another example of the city and the county working together, because because of the way things worked out, we're, working under the county on this, and it's great to see that we can find just another opportunity for us to work together and accomplish a needed goal.
And I would add that the Lake County Commission was very willing to step up to the plate and actually host this. They thought it was a really great idea, and they've pushed real hard for advertising within Lake County and all the residents. So it is a very good mutual cooperation between the two entities, so.
26 or 27?
26.
27th.
Is it 27th?
The
Did I miss-
27th, this Saturday's
This
the
Saturday.
27th.
Sorry, it's the 27th.
Oh, Saturday, the 27th.
Thanks for the catch.
Okay. Anything else?
I'll move the
Yes,
approval of the volunteers for the Lake County Electronic Recycling Drop-Off Event.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded that we approve the list of volunteers for the Lake County Electronic Recycling Drop-Off Event. Any further questions or speaking? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. To business number 5, sale of water meters to the town of Badger. Fred's sales department for water meters is doing good work.
Item
but-
5 and 6 are actually mine. I'll speak to both of them. Both the town of Badger and Condi are interested in buying some meters from us. I have 2 other cities that called just today that are in the wings, so I'll try to get that to you next week. So I just keep pushing these meters out the door. So it's the best we can do with them, but there are entities out there that really, really need these. And they're used meters, but they work for their purposes. They don't fulfill ours as we're switching over to radio reads. And so it's good to be able to offer that up to other communities that aren't as fortunate as us. So I would ask the commission to approve the sale of water meters to the town of Badger and subsequently the town of Concord.
And the price is the same all the way
It is.
through, $25 apiece?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I suppose we would need 2 motions and one on each one. Okay, sale of water meters to the town of Badger. They're intending to buy 15 of used water meters from the city of Madison at $25 each.
I would make a motion to approve the sale of 15 water meters to the city of Badger.
25,
I think it was
please.
25.
25.
15.
No.
15 Badger
Badger
model-
says
model
buy
25.
15.
The letter,
Oh,
the
sorry.
letter says 15.
Yep, you're right.
Model number
Model
25.
25.
Yeah.
It's 10 more we
Second.
could've gotten
If you
rid
can
of.
get
Okay, the motion is made and seconded that we authorize the sale of 15 of the Badger Model 25 used water meters from the city of Madison to the town of Badger. Any questions or speaking? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. The business number 6, then, we have the town of Condi is requesting to purchase 10 used water meters from the city of Madison at a cost of $25 each. we have a motion on that one?
I'll move approval of sale of water meters to Town of Condee.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded that we approve the sale of our 10 used water meters from the city of Madison at a cost of $25 each to the city of Condee. Any questions or speaking? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. New business number 7, you have several personnel recommendations as a part of your agenda items. What are your wishes?
Make a motion to approve personnel as presented.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded that we approve the personnel recommendations as presented. Any questions or speaking? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. Under announcements and other business, I was visiting with Public Works Director Fred Snodderly the other day. I know a number of citizens have been asking about snow removal because we've done a lot of work here, especially a couple of weeks ago. I am very impressed with the accounting methods being used by the Public Works Department so we can really precisely identify labor and equipment costs and so forth when we get into some pretty significant events. And I asked Fred if he would simply make a few comments about that. This would be for the period of April 9th through April 13th. And that information has been provided. Fred, would you like to make a comment or two about that?
Sure, thank you, sir. We did have about, I don't know, estimates are running anywhere from 15 to 17 inches of snow during that time frame. It all fell early Wednesday morning, and the crews responded very well to that. We spent the next 3.5 days actually moving snow. We put some numbers together, and we kind of tracked those kind of things, what we've got into a certain task, and snow removal being one of those. We had about a little over $17,000 in labor cost. About $3,700 of that was actual overtime, and the rest was during, daytime hours, regular hourly wage. We sat there and got everything squared away. I think that Saturday morning we were done by about 9 in the morning. We finished up the last little bit of downtown, but it was a pretty wet and heavy snow, similar to what actually has fallen today. Only a lot more of it. I think the crews did a really great job getting that cleaned. I know there was a lot of folks that were a little upset about the amount of snow that was in driveways and things like this. That's just one of those type things that happen when you have a snow that magnitude and that wet. It's not going to be the easiest thing to move. I know personally I spent about an hour or so shoveling my driveway out because it would not blow. It was just that wet. So I understand where the folks are coming from, but that is part of living in South Dakota. And I just want to say thanks to everybody for getting their cars out of the way and actually being very cooperative as a whole, dealing with the situation. They allowed us to get in and get out of there in a timely manner. So if there's any questions, I'll answer those.
Well, my compliments too for, I think, a really good job. This was tough going. Some of the toughest stuff we've had to move in a long, long time, and not everybody's going to be happy, but this is where we live, and this is what we have to deal with. So I guess, any comments from the commissioners, anything you heard?
I was just gonna ask, Fred, as far as moving cars, did you have to tow any cars or ticketing cars?
I'm not sure what the final count was. I know that they were out giving warning tickets, the $10 tickets, for tow tags. I think last count that I'd heard was somewhere around 6, but I don't have a final number from the
They were
chief.
ticketed or towed? Did you have to
They
tow
were
it?
actually towed out of
Actually
the
towed.
way. Yeah, they gave out quite a few tickets, but I'm not sure what the final count was on that, so.
It's pretty good cooperation.
Yeah. One of the numbers you will see on that report, we do account for equipment costs, as far as if we actually had to go out and rent that type of equipment to do this work. I mean, we had, 9 to 10 staff out there, but we had every piece of equipment we had. So you're looking at, about $45,000, $50,000 worth of cost just in equipment to runtime, and it doesn't include the fuel, because we haven't got that total out yet. But it's not a real cheap proposition to move snow, but it is something that has to be done. And I think we did a pretty good job on that.
Okay, well, if there are no questions, thank you, Fred, for bringing us up to date on that report. That concludes the agenda for this meeting. We have nothing else scheduled, so we're prepared to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, no. Motion is carried. The meeting is adjourned.
I know if those guys want those, Gene, that's the summary of those.
Oh, I see.
Spread summary.